Okay.
Дорогі наші учасники, я дуже рада бачити вас. Ми продовжуємо серії зустрічей з освітніми представниками різних навчальних закладів, університетів, шкіл. І саме зараз я дуже рада вітати пані Морану, представника Хорватського університету Алгебра, який спеціалізується саме в галузі IT-технологій, в галузі графічного дизайну, 3D-анімації, в галузі діджитал-маркетингу. Тому це буде цікаво всім, хто в майбутньому бачить себе або свою дитину як IT-спеціаліст, або галузь дотичну до IT. Крім того, даний вуз пропонує дуже унікальні програми для українців. Це програми Scholarship, що дозволяє стипендіальні, що дозволяють нашим дітям отримати знижку на навчання, в залежності від їхньої успішності. І це також навчальний заклад, який пропонує програми подвійного диплому з Британським державним університетом. Тому це буде цікаво для тих, хто хоче отримати освіту в Хорватії, отримати програму подвійного диплому і скористатися можливістю отримати IT саме від професіоналів, від практикуючих спеціалістів, тому що даний університет саме акцентує увагу на практичній реалізації і залученню саме практикуючих спеціалістів. So, Morana, I introduce you university and we can start our meeting.
So, Aya, thank you for the lovely introduction. Welcome everybody. My name is Morana and today I will be presenting Algebra University College from Croatia. So, in terms of Croatia, I just like to go over a couple of facts in the start. So, we are located at the crossroads of Central and Southeast Europe. The easiest way to find us on a map, since we're a really small country, is to find Italy, and we're right across from Italy. So we share a coastal border with Italy in the Adriatic Sea. And I know I'm subjective, but I always say our part of the coast is much more nicer. Our capital city is Zagreb, which is located in the continental part. But if you prefer the coast, the closest beach to Zagreb is around an hour and a half by car. So a lot of people who live or study in Zagreb actually spend their weekends during the summertime on the coast, because you can literally hop in a car in the morning and by the evening you can come back and enjoy the full day of the beach. As I said, we are a small country. Our current population is 3.8 million people. And in some geopolitical terms, we are also an EU member state, a NATO member state. And since the beginning of this year, we have also joined the Schengen area, which means once you set up your temporary residence here in Croatia, you can travel also to all other Schengen countries without a need for a visa. Another great thing from this year is that we adopted euro as a currency, which means you won't have to deal with our currency we had up until now. The official language is Croatian, but English is widely spoken, so students can rest assured they can easily converse to other people in their everyday life. In terms of Croatia, so Croatia is definitely most popular for two things. One is tourism, the other one is soccer. When it comes to tourism, so I hope that these pictures can tell you a bit why. So some of our most famous cities are Dubrovnik, Split, and Rovinj, but also Croatia can be your next live and learn destination. So depending on what you like, you can explore beautiful nature, spectacular beaches. If you, for example, prefer hiking, there are a lot of mountains you can conquer. There is actually a mountain called Medvednica right above Zagreb, and a lot of people spend their weekends hiking to its peak, enjoying the nature, just to sort of get away from the city rush sometimes. Zagreb, for example, is a home to 50 museums. Some of them are pretty quirky, like Museum of Broken Relationships, Museum of Illusions, 80s Museum, Chocolate Museum. So there's always something to explore. Amazing historical sites all over Croatia. One of the most famous ones is Diocletian's Palace in Split. Also during the summertime, a lot of cool music festivals are going all over the country. And during the wintertime, a lot of cities become these fairy tale Christmas markets, and it really is an extraordinary feeling in these times. So, as said, there is always something to do, something to explore and enjoy in Croatia. In terms of safety, Croatia is one of the safest countries in the world, according to the latest Global Peace Index. So we are ranked 15th among 163 countries, and we never experienced any terrorist attacks. So here you can see a recent survey made by Landgeist. So usually people associate safety and security with Switzerland, I would say, when it comes to Europe. But this survey shows that Croatia is the second safest country in Europe. For how does one feel safe to walk alone on the streets at night? So this can really give you a good impression of how safe people feel in their country. So I know when I talk to a lot of students from all over the world, and when I tell them that to me, it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. I feel completely safe on the streets. When riding in a bus or in a tram, I can put my purse. I don't need to carry my purse. I can put it to a seat next to me. Nobody is going to rob me. In general, I know we sometimes take it for granted, but when talking to international students, this is something that they value the most, especially the parents, because they can rest assured their children will be safe. When it comes to city of Zagreb, where Algebra University College is located, so it's the country's administrative, economic, diplomatic, and cultural capital. I always describe Zagreb as a big, small city, as it's not so large by the land area, but it has everything that, I don't know, London, Berlin, Paris, Milan have, but it's much more cozier. So you can walk to a lot of places, but also if you need to go from one side of the city to another, the public transport network is excellent. It runs 24/7, so there is actually no need for a car. If you prefer biking, a lot of people bike in Zagreb. The infrastructure for bikes is also well done, so this will make going places really easy. Although Zagreb does have a 1,000-year-old history, it's still young and playful at heart, and actually 1/10 of Zagreb's population are in fact university students. So not only international students, but students from other parts of Croatia as well. Comparing to some other popular European destinations for studying, Zagreb has affordable living costs, and this makes Zagreb an attractive destination for international students as well. And when it comes to Algebra University College, so we were established 25 years ago. When we started, we started with lifelong learning education programs. Since in the 90s, there was a technological boom. It was our founders' goal to, make people see how digital technologies can help them in everyday life, but in a professional manner as well. Since 2008, we offer full-time study programs in the areas of computer science, economy, and arts, but always focusing on digital technologies, on innovation. And this is why all of our programs focus on the practical aspects, on applicable skills, on making sure that students during the study program work on various projects we collaborate with on the employer partner network, so students will really have a hands-on experience during their studies. Last year, we built and moved to a brand new campus located in the western part of the city, but we still remain pretty close to the city center, so it takes you about 20 minutes to walk to the main square, or a 10-minute tram ride. And the great thing is that the public transportation is really close to the campus. So you have like a 2-minute walk to the nearest tram that takes you into the city center. This is the largest private educational investment in Croatia. So after a year spending here, I can say the students love the new campus, the staff loves the new campus. It has all of the necessary infrastructure, facilities, equipment, and tools that, of course, are available to students to use, because we want students to apply their knowledge while they're studying. So students can benefit from audio and video production studio, on-air studio, podcast rooms, a data center with the supercomputer and 80 servers, a lot of 3D printers, VR equipment, computer labs that are specifically made for the students to either work on academic projects or their own projects. IoT and robotics spaces, so everything is here for our students to really apply their knowledge. So just to give you a short overview of what expects you on our campus, please take a look at this video. So I hope you've liked our campus. I know our current students love it because, as I said, it has all of the necessary things they need during their studies in one place. In terms of numbers, so we are not an enormous university. We don't want to be an enormous university. Currently, we have around 1,700 students in our 6 bachelor and 8 master programs. We like to keep our classrooms small. So usually on the bachelor level, we have around 15 to 20 students per class, which really gives our professors an opportunity to really apply attention to each student separately. Students work in small groups. They work on mutual projects, and they love it. In terms of quality, so Algebra University College is ranked first for quality assurance system, both among private and public universities in Croatia. Back in 2014, Microsoft declared Algebra University College as the best education organization in the world, and we defended this title in 2020 as a part of the Leading Learning Partners Association, which we actually co-founded to share the best teaching methods, quality assurance systems among a group of universities that have the aim to become the best in their fields. Apart from that, we are the only Croatian institution that has met the quality requirements of the largest accreditation agency in Europe, called NVAO. So NVAO is an accreditation agency for higher education, which ensures and safeguards the quality of education in Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, and so on. Apart from that, we also won the Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year award for emphasizing entrepreneurial spirit and innovation, both among our staff and students. So when it comes to our mission, it is to create opportunities for our students to acquire excellent skills and knowledge and build globally competitive careers in digital technologies. When it comes to our program portfolio, so we don't offer dozens of courses. We are kind of specific and a niche because everything we do focuses on digital technologies. So when we started with our full-time study programs, we started hardcore with developing, programming, cybersecurity, and then we spread out to some other areas, but still focusing on digital technologies. So in the area of arts, we have, for example, 3D design, which means students will have the opportunity to become experts in animation, in designing and developing, for example, characters for video games or films. When it comes to economy, we were one of the first institutions in the world to actually offer a full-time study course in digital marketing, because as you probably know, a lot of universities do offer marketing, but they don't focus on the digital aspect that much. And in today's world, social media advertising, Google AdWords, Google Analytics are vital for every business, because, you know, all of us are constantly either on our phones, or on our laptops. And basically, in order to be successful, you need to be present in the digital world. Another benefit and proof of our quality is that we had all of our programs validated by Goldsmiths University of London. So what does this mean? It means that they have gone through each and every of our programs, teaching methods, learning outcomes, quality assurance, and they had all of our programs validated, which means that students will be able to study for a dual degree option if they want to. So if a student chooses to study for a dual degree option after successfully completing their studies, students will be receiving 2 degrees, one from us, Algebra University College, which is an EU degree, as well as another one, a British degree from Goldsmiths University of London. So if you ever had the chance to explore some British universities, you could have seen that the tuition fees are quite high. If you decide to study here in Zagreb at Algebra University College, the tuition fee for a dual degree program is actually 3 times less than the same program in UK. So when it comes to our bachelor programs, they last for 3 years. They are offered both in Croatian and in English, although we do have some Croatian students studying in the English track as well. So students will be sharing a classroom with other international students, but with Croatian students as well. In order to be eligible for our bachelor program, students need to be in their last year of high school or already finished their high school. And since we do not require a specific GPA from the students, we have an online entrance examination, which students take depending on the program they've chosen to apply for. So, for example, students for software engineering take mathematics on a higher level. Students for digital marketing take mathematics on a lower level. And students who want to apply for the 3D design program take an online entrance exam in drawing and visual communications. So as you can see on this slide, for our students from Ukraine, we have scholarship options. So when it comes to our degree here, we can offer a little bit more in terms of scholarships available to students, up to 21%. And when it comes to the dual degree option, as we're doing it with Goldsmiths University of London, unfortunately, there is a little less scholarship fund. I don't know if there are any master candidates here, so I will just go over it briefly. Once you finish your bachelor program, either with us or with another university, you can join our master programs, which last 2 years and have been exclusively done in English for the last 7 years. So in order to be eligible for our master programs, students need to be in their last year of their bachelor program or already finished one. So we collaborate a lot on the international level. So as I already mentioned, with Goldsmiths, we have a dual degree option. With Epitech from Paris, France, we developed a joint graduate study program in computer science, AI, and IoT. And with Kelley School of Business, we collaborate on our MBA program, which means that we actually have students, have professors coming from the States to teach our MBA students. Another benefit of studying, well, it's not only with Algebra University College, but within any other European university, is that we are part of Erasmus chapter. So what does that mean? So students can spend a semester or even a full academic year studying abroad at one of our partner universities. So in Europe, we have around 100 partner universities, and students actually do get funding for their time spent abroad from the European Union while doing the exchange program. So we always encourage students to take part and explore some other countries and universities during their studies. In terms of the employer partners, so we collaborate a lot with the industry, not only here in Croatia, but with international companies as well. These are just some of the companies we collaborate with. The most important thing is that our bachelor students actually have a mandatory internship during their bachelor program, and they do their internship in some of these companies. Another reason is that a lot of times we do some special projects for these companies, also by collaborating with the employer leaders in the areas of, as we already said, computer science, economy, and arts. We get to identify the latest industry trends and implement them in our curriculum. So each year we change our curriculum somewhere in between of 10 and 20% in order to make sure our students can get easily employed when they finish their programs. So our current statistic of employment is that 96% of our students are fully employed within 3 months of graduation. A lot of them have already started working during their studies and or have an offer when they graduate. In terms of accommodation, so currently we do have a new campus, but at the moment we don't have a student dormitory. This is something planned and that we're trying to make happen in the next 2 years. But in the meantime, we collaborate with 2 partner agencies, EduDom and Home in Zagreb. So both agencies are valued partners, and we always recommend them to students to avoid any potential scams. And also a lot of students, you know, want to share their apartment with a fellow student. So basically both of these agencies can make sure they find the best possible match for you in terms of preference, in terms of budget. So I would say the average accommodation price when sharing an apartment with a fellow student is around 400 euros per month. Of course, if you want to live by yourself in a huge apartment in the city center, it does cost a lot more. But typically, students pay around 400 euros per month. In terms of the living costs, the recommended spending money per month is around 300 euros after paying accommodation and tuition. So students a lot of times have various student discounts. So, for example, a public transportation monthly ticket costs students around 13 euros. By comparison, the same ticket costs me, since I'm not a student, around 55 euros. So students do get subsidized public transportation. Apart from that, living costs, as I already mentioned, are quite affordable. So coffee is like €1.50, beer at the pub, €2, lunch in student cafeterias around €3 for the whole meal, and so on. Okay, so we are aware it's not easy to move to another country, to a new city where you don't have your friends or family. And we know students are sometimes shy to take the first step in meeting new people. This is why we have our Algebra buddy program in place. So our buddies are actually our existing domestic and international students who want to make it easier for new international students to settle in the city, to show them around the city, to help them in their first months of, exploring the education system here in Croatia. They are also their peers, and they will teach you some tips and tricks that you might don't want to ask me or any of the professors, like where is the best pizza in the city, where can I go out, where is the closest gym, and so on. Our buddies also organize cool international events such as movie nights, game nights, treasure hunts, and so on. So, of course, Taya, if you decide to apply, Taya will guide you each step of the way. But the student journey is, we try to make it as simple as possible for students. So everything is done online. You submit your documents online. The motivational call is done with me via Zoom or Teams. Students take part in an online entrance exam. In order to make sure you have everything prepared when you arrive to Croatia, the international office will obtain a Croatian PIN number for each student because you will need it for basically anything. We will do the academic recognition of previous education for students because this is something that needs to be done by law in Croatia. And also, once you pass the admissions procedure, you will be offered a place at our university. So students from Ukraine do not require a visa to enter Croatia. And once you come to Croatia, you regulate your stay by applying with the police station after your arrival. We at the international office also support you during that application as well. Apart from our full-time study programs, we have both international winter and summer school. The next one up, if you want to explore Algebra University College and Croatia prior to starting your full-time studies, will be held in July with 3 weeks in Zagreb and 1 week on the beautiful Adriatic coast in the city of Zadar. So during the summertime, students get to choose among one of the 7 offered modules, which basically cover the most important topics from our bachelor program in a short 4-week course. Students also get to take a Croatian language and culture course if they choose to. The cool thing of this summer program is that besides taking one of the modules, students get to go on fun field trips and have organized sightseeing, as well as connecting with the employer sector. So during our summer school, we take our students and visit some of the most important companies here in Croatia. So last year, for example, we took our students to Rimac Automobili. So Rimac is a Croatian supercar manufacturer that has produced the fastest electrical car in the world. We also visited a Q agency, one of the digital agencies in Croatia that is operating globally. So this does bring me to the end of my presentation. I always like to end my presentation with a couple of pictures from the last year's graduation ceremony. So basically, due to COVID, students didn't have a proper graduation ceremony for 2 years. So we were extremely happy to make it possible for them. And, you know, I'm sure those students would also share with you that the most important thing is to love what you're doing. So our motto is excel at what you love doing and light the spark. So thank you for your attention. Of course, I am here to answer any of the questions, both me and Taya. Of course, if you want to ask a question in Ukrainian, Taya will need to translate.
Okay.
I do have to start learning the language, I think.
I hope that when we will have more Ukrainian students in Croatia, you can do it.
They will teach me Ukrainian.
Yeah. Thank you for your amazing presentation. And of course, we have students who ask, I think it's potential students or their parents, Morana. I think that Croatia is a great possibility to students who would like to combine living in Central Europe, great quality education level, and possibility to get dual degree, for example. And for student who has a normal budget, but would like, for example, to live in Europe, I think it's a great possibility. So we have some question about bachelor degree, I think, in 3D design, about requirements for this program. As we see in your presentation that we need to prepare academic transcript, we need to prepare CV and to pass interview with admission team, and of course we need to prepare portfolio. Can you give me more details about portfolio which should prepare candidates for this bachelor degree?
So when it comes to our 3D design program, it really is a competitive program. So students, when applying, besides the documents such as passport, academic transcript, CV, do need to prepare a portfolio. So within this portfolio, students prepare 4 specific tasks. So they will receive 4 specific tasks. They need to draw by hand, and they need to add 6 of their own work from their own choosing. So basically, their portfolio consists of 10 tasks they did. I know to some of you it might seem strange, because if you're studying 3D design, you're using software. But in order to really be successful in 3D design, in animation, you first do need to know how to draw by hand, because you know everything is in details. So basically, we assess 3D design candidates through their portfolio, as well as the online entrance exam, where they are usually given 3 to 4 tasks. They need to draw in 2 hours and upload it to the system. Sometimes one of the tasks is you get a picture of, I don't know, flowers, which you need to draw from observation. Or I know in the last entrance exam, one of the tasks was to draw a mobile phone case. you know, like a product that will be ready to sell. So basically, that's for our 3D design program, the requirements.
Okay, thank you for your answer. I think this program will be excellent for student, for potential student who has great drawing background. Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
when you didn't have any
Yes.
experience, it will be very difficult, I think, to present this portfolio. For example, to prepare for exam for approximately 3 or 5 months is this portfolio.
Yes, I think if a student doesn't have artistic background, it would take them up to a year to prepare the portfolio, you know, to upscale themselves in drawing, because as I said, it is a really competitive project, and you really need to love it. You really need to have passion in it in order to be successful, not only in your studies, but in your career once you finish.
Thanks, Morana. We have also one question about a conditional offer. When student, as a rule, will get from Algebra conditional offer.
So that
which time is the best?
That usually depends on the student. Taya can confirm, I really do try, depending on the workload I have, to answer the same day, to schedule a motivational call as soon as possible. But if a student prepares all of the documents correctly in their first try, it usually takes me 1 or 2 days max to review them, schedule a motivational call. It takes somewhere between a week or mostly 4 weeks. So Taya, you know, students sometimes do not want to take the entrance exam on the next available date, but they want a little bit more time for the preparation. So basically, it can be done in 3 to 4 weeks. And if a student, you know, wants to prolong it, it will take more time. But I always talk to my colleague Taya and try to do the best I can, so it doesn't prolong into a couple of months. We don't want to do that to students.
Yeah, because when we have candidate, one candidate can prepare all documents shortly and pass the interview and pass math exam very shortly. But for other candidates, for guys need more time, to prepare, for example, English result. And many of my students need, for example, 3 or 5 months for preparation for IELTS exam. If they want to apply for dual.
Yes, but as you know, so when it comes to the English requirement, we can still offer the conditional offer letter with the condition of English. So even that part does not prolong the admissions procedure. But as I said, if a student doesn't want to take the entrance exam in mathematics, then this is something that can prolong it.
Yeah, I will try to say this in Ukraine. Отже, якщо ми маємо таку ситуацію, коли студент здав всі конкретні етапи, і для прикладу, що немає сертифікату IELTS, наприклад, із потрібним рівнем, то ми отримаємо conditional offer, тобто умовний лист про зарахування від університету Algebra, за яким ми пройшли всі необхідні етапи. Ми маємо гарні оцінки, маємо академічний транскрипт, маємо успішно здане мотиваційне інтерв'ю із пані Мораною, маємо іспит з математики, який також ми здали для програми. І якщо єдиним requirements, вимогою залишається це IELTS Academic, ми можемо отримати conditional offer із певною датою дії, із обов'язковою умовою надання IELTS. Звичайно, що можна з пані Мораною домовитися і трішки відтягти процес до отримання нашого IELTS, але потрібно розуміти, що є певні терміни, коли університет має велику кількість кандидатів. І я завжди рекомендую закрити весь етап рекрутації, весь етап прийому студента до кінця весни. Це дозволяє нам гарантовано мати місце в Algebra University, це дозволяє нам забронювати хороше житло, тому що це Хорватія, і дуже багато студентів кожного року приїжджає. І, звичайно, найкраще співвідношення ціна-якість за студентське житло буде заброньовано вже до кінця весни. So Morana, we have one more question about academic transcript and about marks. For example, which result in Ukrainian academic system, in Ukrainian academic transcript will be the best for getting your offer letter?
So this is the great thing. We do not require a specific GPA. So of course, students need to pass the final exam and finish their high school education. But you know, I know that students in Ukraine in high school also have a large number of subjects. It's the same in Croatia. You know, I in my last grade of high school had 19 subjects. You cannot be good in all of them. And for example, if a student is applying for software engineering and isn't good in history, geography, biology, chemistry, physics, and has low marks in these subjects, we don't want to punish the student with, oh, you don't have a specific GPA. This is why we have the entrance examination. You know, because we know that sometimes the grades, the GPA doesn't correspond to the quality of student. So, of course, it's not that I'm encouraging students to only pass on the satisfactory level, but for us, it is not the most important because we do have the online entrance exam.
Я хочу, маючи це запитання, хочу відповісти наступним чином. Те, що академічна успішність студента є важливою, але пані Морана наголошує на тому, що українські освітні документи мають дійсно дуже багато предметів. І, зокрема, для цього проводиться тестування з тієї ж математики або інтерв'ю для перевірки володіння англійською мовою, для того, щоб реально на практиці зрозуміти, чи відповідає знання, отримані в українській школі, для того, щоб почати навчання в Хорватії. Інший момент. Рішення про зарахування приймається на основі саме академічного транскрипту, не кінцевого атестату і додатку, що студенти в Україні отримують зазвичай наприкінці травня, початку червня місяця. Тобто ми маємо рішення про зарахування ще до. Єдиний момент. Атестат і додаток Algebra University може запросити від вас для підтвердження того, що ви закінчили школу. Для того, щоб зрозуміти, що студент дійсно, надаючи виписку з 8 по перший семестр 11 класу, не закинув школу, а те, що він дійсно закрив і отримав атестат про повну загальну середню освіту. Тобто це дуже важливо. Це документ більше як легалізаційний, і цей документ, як сказала пані Морана, подається такій процедурі, як визнання освітньої кваліфікації в Хорватії, в чому ми допомагаємо. Тобто ми ведемо повністю цей процес, і, зокрема, колеги пані Морани забезпечують легалізацію українського атестату та додатку в Хорватії. Тому, де-факто, основні 4 такі моменти для успішного зарахування даний вуз – це ваша академічна довідка, рекомендую мати середній бал в 8,5 і вище для 100% успішного зарахування. Далі це ваша мотиваційна розмова, яку потрібно пройти, це іспит з математики, який здається в онлайн-форматі, ми даємо вам приклади типових завдань, ви готуєтесь і здаєте на потрібний результат. І остання 4 вимога, мабуть, одна з найважливіших, це ваша англійська мова. Це може бути IELTS або деякі інші іспити, які є аналогом. І ваш атестат і додаток, якщо ми говоримо про програми саме бакалавра, bachelor degree, то атестат є легалізаційним і документом для підтвердження того, що ви де-факто закінчили школу і отримали даний документ. Okay, so Morana, we have also a question about accommodation. I would like to remember for our participants that in your presentation you told about this information and you told that you have partners who offer for Ukrainian international students accommodation, approximately price from 300 to 500 if we talk about student dormitory, like student apartment which can share with other student. And if student would like to rent, for example, flat, the price will be much bigger, I think.
In terms of the student dormitory, unfortunately, at this moment, we do not have one. This is something that is planned we plan to make it happen in a year or two, but you know, it does take some time. So in the meantime, we have two agencies that specialize in international student accommodation. So basically, when the time comes for the student to start finding accommodation, we connect the student to both of these agencies. They have their offer online, which students can look at priorly, but both agencies like to schedule a call with the student to get to know the student a little bit better. What are their preferences? What is their budget? And they really do try to find the best possible match for students. So as I said, I always like to say that the average price is around 400 euros. There are some cheaper options. So 400 euros is usually for sharing a larger apartment with one fellow student. So sometimes students will be able to find it for 300 euros, but it's going to be in another part of the city. So basically, it really depends on the student's budget. I do have to say that I think 250 to 300 euros is lowest possible, but usually 350 to 400 euros for a shared apartment is the standard price. So I know, for example, Andri, who will join us tomorrow. So he rented an apartment through Home in Zagreb, one of the agencies we recommend. And basically they matched him because both he and the other student said they want a roommate. He was matched with a student from Tanzania, and they are actually in the same classroom. And that was a really great thing for them, because they weren't alone from the first day. You know, they had each other. They're going to a same university, and from my impression and from them, they really like the apartment, and the price is okay for them.
Yeah, I remember when we booked this accommodation for Andri, and it's great for him because he has a single room. It's a large room with all possibilities that he needs. And of course, when he came to Croatia and saw that he will have a roommate who will study in Algebra University, he was really happy.
Yes, yes, and I think they're best friends now.
Yeah.
I
So
always
the best
see them
price.
together.
The best price for share accommodation, share student residence like this in Zagreb and Croatia is approximately 400.
Yeah.
400. It will be the best accommodation with all options that you need. And as a rule, it's single room, as I see on the website. And one more question about legalization in Croatia. Morana, if you want, I can I can give the answer about student legalization in Croatia.
So are they asking about the documents, or?
I think about possibility how to do legalization.
Okay, but just to make sure, so the only legalized document students need to have is the police clearance record. So if you're thinking of that legalization, but I will let you.
Yeah, and now Ukrainian students, due to the military situation in Ukraine have two possibilities how to do legalization and to do official status in Croatia. For example, it can be temporary protection. I remember that in last year, Croatia gave Ukrainian students and other people temporary protection for 1 year. And
yes, it's still valid.
Yeah, and they can get it, this, for example, legalization. But if they want, if students want, we can do, and we can get student visa, for example, and permit for living and study in Croatia. Отже, ми маємо два шанси, як отримати легалізацію, дві можливості. Насправді, зараз у зв'язку з війною в кожній європейській країні створений спеціальний статус для українців, то може бути temporary protection або PESEL в Польщі, в кожній країні Європи то має він різну назву. Отже, можна піти шляхом отримати цього спеціального статусу, який не заперечує і ваше навчання в Хорватії, проживання, працевлаштування. Крім того, ви отримуєте певні виплати, допомогу від самої держави, плюс медичний страховий поліс і певні знижки. Інший шлях – це отримати студентську візу, і після цього ви можете отримати ще й перміт на проживання в Хорватії, і, звичайно, потрібно буде його продовжувати. Також бачу, Morana, very important question about dual degree with Goldsmiths University of London. If students, for example, which will be accepted for dual degree, can visit Goldsmiths University for one, for example, semester and study in the campus.
So unfortunately, due to Brexit, that is not possible. Goldsmiths validated all of our programs, and the program is entirely done in our campus at our facilities. Previously, prior to Brexit, students could partake in Erasmus exchange, but since the UK decided to leave EU, at the moment, there is no such possibilities. We are looking into ways to maybe send students for a week to Goldsmiths, but due to the whole complications with the EU, it is still something that both Goldsmiths University of London and we are still trying to establish.
Okay.
But so the whole program is done in Zagreb, and after completing the studies, students receive 2 degrees.
Отже, як ви зрозуміли, учасники, що наразі у зв'язку із певними законодавчими змінами, що відбуваються в Британії, зокрема у зв'язку з Брекзітом, ця можливість відвідувати насправді є ускладненою законодавчо, хоча до цього університет реалізовував ці процеси, але на чому наголошує пані Морана, що ми намагаємося продвигати цей процес, законодавчо проштовхувати, щоб студенти все-таки відвідали на певний навіть недовгий, але коротенький період Goldsmiths. І другий важливий момент, вона наголошує на тому, що ви маєте подвійний диплом. Те, що ви маєте dual degree після after graduation your program, тому що Goldsmiths де-факто признав всю методику викладання Алгебра, признав їхні підходи, і тому ви отримаєте подвійний диплом. Але, знову ж таки, для всіх учасників нашої зустрічі хочу наголосити, що законодавство в Європі дуже швидко змінюється. І це не означає, що якщо зараз є проблеми з Брекситом і з тим, що студенти не можуть поїхати по довгостроковій програмі, це питання може бути вирішене навіть в короткій перспективі. В будь-якому разі, Алгебра все робить для того, щоб дійсно це зробити. Стосовно вартості і терміну навчання. Загалом програми бакалавра тривають від 3 до 4 років, більшість програм тривають терміном 3 роки. Вартість навчання, якщо це dual degree, тобто це подвійний диплом, зазвичай близько 6 тисяч євро на рік, 6-200 євро. І якщо це програми, які саме Algebra University, вартість близько 5700-5800 євро за програму бакалавра, 1 рік навчання. І відповідно, як ми вже сказали, we have special scholarship for Ukrainian students, and all candidates can apply for this scholarship. Тобто всі кандидати українці можуть подаватись на дану стипендію для українців і отримати знижку. Критерії дуже прості. Якщо ви гарно здали мотиваційну розмову, якщо ви маєте гарні академічні результати, ви маєте хороший IELTS, ми обов'язково заповнимо вашу заявочку на Special Scholarship for Ukrainian Student. Ми пишемо ваш мотиваційний лист, ми обумовлюємо причини отримання саме цієї знижечки, і, відповідно, після цього ви можете отримати. Вартість навчання між дипломом Алгебра та Dual Degree з Goldsmiths University досить невелика, буквально різниця в 300-400 євро за 1 рік навчання. І термін навчання в середньому складає 3 роки для того, щоб отримати Bachelor Degree. Знову ж таки, все залежить від програми навчання, яку ви обираєте. Да? Зазвичай алгебра найбільше славиться своїми програмами в галузі інформаційних технологій, 3D-дизайну, діджитал-маркетингу і так далі. Тобто це дійсно їхній профіль, який саме чому обирають саме даний навчальний заклад. Okay, Morana, thanks for your amazing presentation. We discussed with our auditory, I think, all important questions that we have. And I will see you tomorrow. I hope Andrew will join to our presentation.
Yes, we shall see that. So thank you for your attention. And as I always say, if you have any questions, Staya is an expert and is always here to help you.